Hi guys, I am back with day 6 of my December daily 2022 and I am doing a 3-page spread this time for day 6 because I do have quite a bit of photos. This one here is going to be using a 4x6 card from an old Ellie Edwards kit that I've had, and then I'm going to decorate the picture of the house with the Christmas lights with some Simple Stories washi tape, this little gnome guy that I trimmed out from the paper pad that I've been using, the gnome for the holidays, and I'm going to take a circle punch and punch out a little red circle that I thought would be nice to anchor the little gnome guy. Also, there is a car in the driveway and I just kind of want to cover it up. I thought it was very kind of distracting. So I'm just going to be putting those two together to cover that car in the driveway. And on this day, we were going to go to a park to see Christmas lights, but it was a really rainy, dreary, kind of foggy day, and we thought it wasn't going to be very good to see the lights this way. So we decided just to go around the neighborhood and look at Christmas lights. In this particular house, they play Christmas music to the lights, and the lights are coordinated. So it's super fun to watch this house, and that's what we did instead. What I'm doing with this card is I'm just taking my Close to My Heart template and punching out some holes and going to do a simple running stitch with some green embroidery floss all the way around this card. And I just really like how it pulls things together, and I've been using the stitching throughout my album this year, and I really am enjoying using the stitching. I love the texture that it brings. In the past, I think I did a lot of machine stitching, and I am doing that a little bit in this album, but for this album definitely I'm doing much more hand embroidery, and I just really like that texture that the embroidery thread has. So I made this cute little tag just using some scrap pieces. That top was from day 1 where I trimmed out the number 1, and I had this top left over and I just covered the bottom of it with some pattern paper, and it was perfect. Always keeping my scraps because you just never know what they're going to be used for. And I want to decorate this because I do not like that white space above the journaling there. So I'm looking around in my stash and I decided to pull out this washi tape. This is from Michaels and it's not super sticky, so I'm going to use a little bit of liquid adhesive just to make sure it stays. Plus this tag is going to be coming in and out of a little pocket, so it definitely is going to get some movement. And I wanted to make sure that didn't come off by wear and tear and just pulling it out. So I glued that down and I trimmed it off, and I think that looks really nice, the separation. And I'm going to use this little Merry Christmas puppy sticker from the Cartabella sticker sheet, and I think that looks cute. I'm going to edge around all of the card with this red ink, and I like how that turned out. And now I'm going to measure on the back of the Ellie Edwards card. I'm going to measure and put a pocket, and I'm going to do that after I end up threading this through. This is just some kind of jute kind of twine, I think it's maybe jute, that I got from Michaels. It was in their Christmas section. It's the Recollection brand. I thought about putting the tag there, but I didn't like how it was covering up the card, so I am going to make a little pocket on the back of here. And I'm just using some scrap paper, just kind of measuring or eyeballing where the card is, and then I'm going to trim out this piece of paper here, glue it down, and then the tag will be able to slip in and out of that. And it's actually perfect too because it is going to go on the top of the pocket, so it'll be very easy to pull in and out of the pocket once it's in the album. So here I go. I'm going to glue this all down, and then I'll show you here in a second how it ends up kind of going in and out of that pocket. So it's just going to slip in there, and I do make sure it fits, but then I won't keep that on there because the glue is not dry yet, and I don't want it to separate from the backing. So I do pull that back out here and let that dry. So that is this particular card. Oh, actually, no, I forgot. I do want to add a little bit to this little gnome guy. I at first thought I was going to use one of these flat back brads that say Joy, I think. But it just didn't seem to go. It was a little bit too big and overpowering, so I ended up pulling off a little pearl, and I'm going to put it right there on his little pom-pom ball at the end of his hat. I thought that would look cute on that and just give this photo a little extra texture. So once I try this around a couple places, it just isn't working, and I pull out one of those white pearls there. And that is it for this particular layout. Then I'm going to move on to my 2-page spread. I'm going to be using a couple photos, a 4x6 card and one 3x4 card. So I have this little Christmas tree card, and then I have this, it's beginning to look a lot like Christmas. I am going to do some stitching around that one too. This little die cut over here that I'm messing with in the bottom right, that is from one of the die cut packs, and the vellum banner, that is an Ellie Edwards stamp that I stamped and I heat embossed with some silver embossing powder. The love is also a little die cut. I think I got that from Michael's several years ago, and it's just a love die cut, and I used some silver embossing powder on that one as well. The Christmas tree is from another Recollections stamp set that I have that also came with dies, and I heat embossed that with some silver embossing as well. This die cut here, which I think is just really sweet, it came in the one of the die cut ephemera packs, and I'm just adding some of that same jute twine that I worked or used on the last tag. And then I have a little package that says joy, and then that joy word also came from that Recollections stamp set and die set, and I just stamped it in red. Here you can see I'm doing the stitching the same way I did on the previous 4x6 card, just with green again. I like how the green came across the page from the Christmas tree to over here to this beginning to look a lot like Christmas. Just now gluing everything down. I really like how this looks. This page came together pretty quickly. I did a little pre-preparing of the page just to make sure I kind of liked where everything was going. I felt a little overwhelmed at this point for some reason, and I thought it would be nice to just kind of pre-plan this out before I turn the camera on. And so that's kind of what you're seeing here. And I wanted to anchor this tree down. I felt like it was just kind of floating there in the corner. And I love this Fa La La paper. And I punched that out with my, I think it was a 2-inch or maybe 1.5-inch punch. And it just anchors down the Christmas tree. I'm going to put a little glue on the love. And then I will end up making the little circle go off the page just a little. And then I will trim off the excess. And I just think that looks nice. It just kind of coming off the edge looks nice. Sometimes when you put it kind of more in the middle where it's not coming off the edge, it looks a little more floaty, and I thought this looked a little better. So I'm just getting off some of the extra adhesive that kind of came over the edge, and then I will trim that out. And then I'll move on to the 3x4 card with a little cluster of embellishments there. Just gluing down on the vellum. I try to be careful because I want to make sure you can't see the adhesive. I'm just using this dry adhesive. If I use the art glitter glue, you probably wouldn't be able to see it, but I didn't want to use a liquid glue on this one. I kind of wanted it not to be completely adhered down, so I just put a little bit of the dry adhesive in the bottom right hand corner of the pine tree, and that worked perfectly. And then I can stack all the other items on top, and then I'll use some liquid glue for this joy. Since it is so tiny, it doesn't really work well to use the dry adhesive, and this little tip is perfect for these little tiny spots. I'm going to stick that in. I thought the little J and joy nestled on that tag really nicely. And now I'm just looking over to see what else I need to do. So I'm going to trim off this corner. I do want to embellish this top photo here. I pulled out this Holly Jolly from the sticker sheet. Again, I wanted something to kind of anchor it down. So I'm going to punch out a piece of scrap vellum that I have and just add that in the top right hand corner. And it will just be a nice place to set that down. And really, it doesn't do too much. I just really like the extra texture and kind of added layers it gives to it. Obviously, it isn't any color because it's vellum, so it is see-through. But I don't know, I like how that kind of looks there. A little hazy in the background. And I'm going to trim that off. I'm going to add a little heart die cut. And then I'm going to add a small, tiny little puffy sticker. And you'll see me do that here in a second. I was thinking about adding the little holly puffy sticker, but it just didn't go right, and I thought there was already holly on the sticker, and it was a little too much, so I'm going to pull off a little circular snowflake instead. So while I'm doing that, I just want to say thank you guys so much for joining me. Hope you're enjoying the December daily series. If you are, please give me a thumbs up. And if you haven't already, I'd love for you to subscribe to my channel. I will have more December daily videos up soon. I have some time off of work, so I'll have some time to focus and get some of the videos up and done. I also have a lot of junk journaling videos and different things like that up on my channel, and some flip throughs of some junk journals. If there's anything specific you'd like to see that you haven't seen or that you want to see more of, please let me know that in the comments below. And thank you guys so much. I hope you have a great day and happy holidays. Bye bye.